I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we dive into the thrilling conclusion of the System of Light trilogy with an amazing book. It is called Stronghold of Light. Born in South Africa and now residing in Los Angeles, Phillipa Wade blends science fiction, nature, and poetic insight to create a captivating book. Join us as we explore the final showdown between the forces of light and dark in this epic space saga. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her remarkable book. The links are below this interview. Phillipa, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Great to be here. Thank you so much.
This is quite a body of work you have put forth, a trilogy that is a space adventure saga. Where did the idea for this trilogy first come from?
It started actually about 30 years ago when I wrote a very short story. And it was just a small part of what became part of the first book of this series. And it just generated from there. It just grew and grew and grew. And when I got to the end of the first book, I knew this System of Light had a future. So I wrote a second book. And then there was another future. And so I wrote a third book. You never know where it's going to go after this.
Yeah, it could be a fourth part coming. Is that possible?
Yeah, in the future. Yeah, maybe.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's go through all three books that are out there now. The first book is called?
The Linking Moons. I don't know if you want me to show you that.
You can show me for sure.
That's The Linking Moons.
Yep.
And that's the first book. And that is the book in which the system is discovered, the System of Light is discovered, the people inhabit it, and it's only like a 3-year period after their ancestors have been there for many, many years. But it's also based on two families. It's very real. It's not like kind of weird and mechanical people. It's real people. And the two families, their lives are threaded right through the trilogy. The challenges they face and the wars, the touch of romance, just enough to keep things interesting. And so that's The Linking Moons. And it really sets the scene, really, for the environment, the people, and the threats that they involve, the challenges they are having to deal with.
The second book is?
The second book is The Stones of Torain. Torain is the main planet of the 7-planet system. The Stones of Torain is a discovery. The stones have a memory. That's the key to the whole thing. They have a memory, and the people find out about their own history because of these stones.
And please give us an overview of Stronghold of Light, the third part of this trilogy.
Absolutely. Stronghold of Light is where everybody they have been fighting the antagonists who are from a very dark territory of the galaxy. And they've been fighting these people, being threatened by them for many, many years. They are protected by their own System of Light through a phenomena they discover. And this culminates in a massive war where the antagonists finally make a very great effort to attack the system. And how they overcome this with their light power, with the people who are part of a galactic space force that assists them. And it's quite terrific, actually. It's more dramatic, I think, than the other two books. But that is how it really builds up to a really great climax and a challenge for the people. It's also interesting that the book has come quite almost not technical, but there are aspects of the book that are make good reading for both men and women. And I've had a lot of reviews from men and women, and they love this. They love the fact that it interests them. There are things they can learn about and possibly understand why things are the way they are anywhere. It's quite interesting.
Quite interesting. What are your influences? Are you influenced by movies, TV shows, other books?
My influences, I read a lot of science fiction as a young person, and I loved it. I found myself very happy to be carried away in these other places without any effort. Science fiction itself has been my inspiration because there are no limits. You can have anything happen. You can create anything. You can let your imagination just roll. And I love that. And I have read some science fiction, I mean, in my early years, but not actually recently. But I have been a reader all my life. I've loved books of all different kinds. And this just seemed to be fit me. It really fits me.
I think to be a great writer, you have to be a great reader as well, because I think you
Yes.
can have all of those voices influence you, permeate your brain a little bit, and help you with the creative process, no doubt, while still creating something original and unique, of course. Have you envisioned the System of Light trilogy as a series of movies, perhaps, or a TV series?
It's completely and utterly perfect for a series because I've had so many people saying, you have to get this made into a series because people can see everything. That's one of the biggest things people have said. I can visualize everything you've written. You know, it's like it's really, I set the scene, created the people, the characters have been worked on and built. And I have got now an actual, almost like a glossary of the environment, the people, idiosyncrasies, the games that they play. So if I ever want to pick up and write another one, I refer to these characters and I can remember, okay, this guy had a tick or this, you know, all these different things that you need to know. Because writing a trilogy, one of the key things is following through your threads. You can't suddenly drop somebody without explaining, and you have to keep those characters doing the same things that they've done all their lives and the way they are, you know, and that's work. I found the third book, I kept referring back to the other two books to make sure I was actually on the right track.
What's it like for you when you're writing them? Do you really get lost in that world?
Oh yeah, I can hardly put it down. It's amazing. It's, you know, there was a writer who once said, you know, writers must write. And planning a book, I did a master class, James Patterson, who
Oh,
really helped
great
me.
masterclass.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, and he helped me plan my books. And I wrote the whole book. The third book I wrote completely in synopsis form before I started writing. And it means you don't end up with writer's block because you know where you're going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Of all the courses I've taken on writings over the years, nobody understands writing and breaks it down to a practical practice better than James Patterson. It's
it's
amazing.
incredible,
Yeah.
incredibly helpful. And he shares his knowledge. And I've tried to say to people, do this or listen to me even now, because this really helps you tremendously.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
highly recommended. And it's a very easy watch. I've taken quite a few of the master classes from Aaron Sorkin to James Patterson to Dustin Hoffman, and
yeah.
James Patterson blows them all out of the water. His is
Neil
absolutely the
Gaiman was
best.
pretty good too. Yeah.
Which one?
Neil Gaiman, he's an English writer. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out on your
Yeah.
recommendation for sure. So
Good.
where do you think the book will go in the fourth installment if you decide to write a fourth installment?
Well, there are 7 planets in the system, and I have focused particularly on the main central planet where the council operates, at the central point, Torain. And there are other planets that have terrific potential to be written about. Obviously, not too close to the sun, but the ones further away. And I actually have diagrams in my book of the system. And I have a glossary at the back of each book in case I've used a word that somebody thinks is a bit far-fetched, but it's all there. And I haven't gone overboard. I've kept it very English, words that you can understand, like an E spacecraft or a triple E spacecraft. They're not like way weird, you know.
Right,
I've tried
right,
to make it acceptable to most readers.
right. Well, I think you're ready for your movies, your TV shows, your merchandise. It seems like you've crafted this whole world that's self-contained, right?
It is. It is a world that has been created, and it still lives.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we wish you lots of great luck with this series. It is an amazing trilogy, and more could come. It is called the System of Light trilogy. The final installment is called Stronghold of Light. It is an amazing read. The author blends science fiction, nature, and poetic insight to craft a book you won't want to put down, and you'll be rooting for her to come up with a fourth. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Philippa.
Thank you very much, Logan. Much
But
appreciated.
pleasure's all mine. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.